But that rarely happens. You're never going to have all the money, all the resources, all the knowledge until you start. It's when you start that all the possibilities start to show up, and the next step, and the next step, and the next step. Hey friends, welcome to the Business of Home Staging podcast. This is your backstage pass to business intelligence for creatives. Are you driven by your passion for design and decorating so much that you're happy to do it for free? That was me until I made 6 figures in my first year as a home stager. Yes, real estate staging is serious business with the potential for 6 or even 7 figures in revenue. Your talent is a great start, but building a profitable business requires so much more than creating beautiful spaces. Get the boost of confidence you need to monetize your talent, keep your phones ringing, and your pipelines full. Grab the popcorn as I pull back the curtains on the best kept secrets with inspiring conversations and success stories of challenges, wins, and everything in between. I've made so many mistakes so you don't have to. If this Nigerian girl can do it, you, my friend, can do it too. Let's go. Hey friends, welcome to the very first episode of the Business of Home Staging podcast. My name is Joké, and I'm so excited to share this moment with you. I have been sitting on this idea of starting a podcast for more than a year now, and I'm finally here beginning to get over my fear of starting. But I'm starting and I'm doing it afraid. All the nonsense that have been going on in my head, the imposter syndrome. What am I going to say? Does my hair look right? What am I going to wear? Do I have the right equipment? I started to realize that none of those things matter. And the reason that I've been so fixated on that is because I've been so focused on myself and less on the message and the people that I'm about to deliver the messages to. We want everything to be lined up and perfect before we start. But that rarely happens. You're never going to have all the money, all the resources, all the knowledge until you start. It's when you start that all the possibilities start to show up, and the next step, and the next step, and the next step. Okay, so I started my home staging business, Genesis Home Staging, based in the Seattle area in 2018. I had no idea what I was doing. Never mind that I had a real estate license, broker's license in the state of Washington for about 11 years before I decided to go into the design part of things. I've done in my career, in my work life, it has always had something to do with design. I was a real estate agent and then a website designer, graphic design, and all of the things. This is my gift to you, to give yourself the permission to do whatever you want to do. Start where you are, use what you have, and so you can thrive. I was working as a senior agent at Redfin, had my own team and all of that. I was part of the client education initiative where I taught home buying classes to home buyers. And that kind of gave me the perspective of how people interacted with homes on the buy side, on the sell side, and on the side of the agent. And it gave me an all-round into how the real estate business worked. So people ask sometimes, do I need to get my real estate license or be an agent to be a better stager? The answer is no. There are lots and lots of stagers who have no experience in real estate and are doing amazing work. And then another question that I get is, do I need formal education, meaning training, some kind of certification, even college or interior design degree to be a stager? Again, the answer is no. However, getting an education and training will set you apart. As creatives, we are very focused on just making things beautiful, decorating. But when it comes to business, if you want to monetize it and you want to go far, you will need to get some kind of training. And there's so many good trainings out there that you can get. I come from a business background. I'm a serial entrepreneur. And I have learned so many things from failed businesses, and I have some thriving businesses as well. But the home staging business is unique. There are so many moving parts. How hard can it be? It looks glamorous because when you've done the work, it looks so beautiful. But the process to get there is anything but. Ask any practicing professional home stager, they will tell you that the logistics and behind the scenes, the things that you don't see can sink a ship if you don't have a handle on it. It's the business part, it's the marketing, it's all the logistics and the moving parts. And if you want to command good money and you want to be profitable, it will be important for you to learn how to articulate what you do to attract good paying clients, because the game changes and everything shifts when you move from being a hobbyist. It's important for you to learn the business. You don't have to go to training by any means, but I highly recommend it because it will fast track your growth and your success in the business. There's so many stagers who don't have any certification or training that are doing well. The training is just going to set you up to fast track to success and growth. Okay? And then another question I get is, how much capital do I need to start a home staging business? Depending on the niche you pick, depending on your expertise, depending on the resources available to you. Business models that require not a lot of money, I'll break them down for you. The low-hanging fruit that I highly recommend is the occupied consultation. You go into people's houses, they already have absolutely everything they need to stage the house, and you bring your expert's eyes and you tell them what to keep, what to lose. I still offer the occupied consultation, and it's kind of exchange for your time and expertise for money. Okay. But before that, you will need a website because we're in the business of show and tell. You need to be able to show people what you can do. A website doesn't cost that much these days. You can register on Squarespace, Wix, on WordPress. Created my own website on Wix all by myself. It's pretty easy to do these days because you have a template and, of course, your social media. You can't get out of it because, again, show and tell. People want to see what you can do. In my experience as a real estate agent, you would think that will make it easy for me to get business. Yes, it did open a few doors for me and my network of people, but I had to prove myself because people knew me as an agent. They didn't know me as a designer or as a stager. So I had to prove myself by showing and telling what I could do. So that's your first step. Create your portfolio. And I don't have a portfolio. People are not going to hire me. You can create your own portfolio. You don't need to wait for anyone to give you business in order to have a portfolio. Design your own house. Design your neighbor's house. Design your grandma's house. Reorganize your friend's house. I was fortunate that I had friends who just handed me her keys to a house. And I went to rent furniture and I hired a photographer. I set up the house. I bought a few little things from Home Goods. And that was my first portfolio that I built my website on, that I was able to show as my work. Nobody cares if it was your house, your grandma's house. It is work that you did with your hands, and that's all that matters. And then occupied staging, where they have all the big stuff, the furniture, they have the sofa, but they will need some accessories like artwork, little decor here and there, like all the things you see behind me. They'll need you to have that. And so you could easily pick those up from Home Goods and Target. And I would highly recommend and advise that you don't go buy stuff until you get a paying client. And your first job probably won't see a profit in a while, while you're starting and growing, because you would be buying. In a future episode, I'll be discussing all about curating inventory that makes you money, so you know what to buy. You bring in the accessories and you rent it to them for a period of time. The industry standard is 30 days, 45 days, 60 days. And then in occupied homes, it means that bear in mind, at the back of your mind, that whatever you put in those houses are subject to use because people live there. So you have to decide what and what you want to provide. For me, when we do occupied, we still do them every once in a while on a case by case basis. My main question is, do you have pets? Do you have kids? Because kids and pets, they just don't mix with good furniture. I don't provide soft goods, meaning bedding, pillows, upholstery for occupied homes for all of those reasons. Those things that you would not want to rent and take back because they could be easily destroyed, you can buy on their behalf and it becomes their own and it remains with the house. So that's another model. When you decide to do the occupied staging with the supplemental accessory, you will need a place to store them. For me, I started storing them in my garage and my guest bedroom, but we quickly outgrew that. So you have to factor that into what you're doing and how much you're charging to make sure that it's worth it for you. Okay, so those are the low-hanging fruits. And there is also vacant staging, which is the big one that requires a lot more investment because you're staging houses that are completely empty, vacant, no furniture, no one lives there. You need to bring everything that's needed. And a lot of times people don't want the whole house staged. If you have a 3-bedroom, the minimum that helps sell a house, as far as I'm concerned, is the living room, dining room, kitchen, powder room, the main bedroom, and main bathroom. And everything else that they want is an add-on. The same thing with the occupied. Do not go out and buy furniture before you get the job. And make sure that you're buying furniture that is versatile, that you can use in any home. The vacants, like I said, it's more capital intensive because you're going to carry furniture and you don't have to carry the big stuff. You can certainly rent. And when you rent, most of the rental companies, they come with delivery. So you are eliminating the cost of moving. Some of them will even hang the artwork for you. So there are benefits to that. And depending on your business model, what resources are available to you, that's an option. Okay. So those are the 3 major things when it comes to actual staging. But there are so many other multiple income streams that you could have. And there are a lot of other low-hanging fruits that won't cost you an arm and a leg and too high of an overhead. One of them is shopping and buying inventory for the clients when you are doing occupied. So you can actually offer a shopping service, whether it's for staging, whether it's for interior design, decorating. People don't know what to buy for their house when it comes to furniture and decorating. So if you register your business, you will have access to wholesale resources. A company like Wayfair, where you could register if you have a tax ID, you'll get your trade pricing. Pottery Barn, West Elm, and Crate and Barrel, they have trade programs that you can register for so you can get your stuff at great prices. You will save money by shopping wholesale and getting trade pricing. You can also do a service where you take people shopping, show them what to buy and how to put them together. And then there is also interior decorating or styling. I refrain from saying interior design because interior design is more involved. It entails remodeling. If you don't have the skill or training in that, then that is a lot more invasive. But if you have the skills and the manpower, you can totally do it. But styling, home makeover, even commercial spaces. I've done a doctor's office before. I've done interior design because I have people on my team that can help me with that. And then there is holiday decorating. The holidays around the corner. So you can do Thanksgiving outdoor, indoor. You can do Christmas for both residential and commercial. Okay. You can also do floral arrangements if that's something that you enjoy doing or have the skill to do. So many things that you can do for multiple income streams to get started, to raise capital if you decide to go into the vacant model. Okay. I charge $350 per hour to do the occupied consultation, walk and talk. If the client has decluttered their home and they are ready, when I get there, I can use my time to actually do some hands-on staging and show them what it should look like when they take photos. And I leave them with printout instructions that they can use to set up the place, make sure that everything is depersonalized, neutralized, and ready for showings and photos. Okay. I go on a treasure hunt around their house and I'm looking for stuff in different places, of course, with their permission. Most of the time, they've moved stuff into their garage. I go in there and I hunt and I find stuff that I can use. I take a chair from upstairs, bring it downstairs, move this pillow to that space, bring it, whatever you can find as a creative. For vacants, you are going to need a place to store. If you decide to stock and carry inventory, there are places where you can buy wholesale. You just need your tax ID. You need to register your business, have a tax ID. You need a business address. You're going to need a place to receive the stuff. It needs to be a commercial address, not residential. Some of them will need you to have a dock where you can receive the stuff. Depending on how big you're buying, if they are palletized, you're going to need a space. And there are receiving warehouses you don't have to own, or you can partner with somebody in your area who has a warehouse. I do receivership for some people in my area. That is why it is important for you to get out there and network, become a member of RISA Real Estate Staging Association. I'm a board member and I highly recommend because the value of being a member of this association is tremendous. The networking alone, the education. So there you can find in your local chapter somebody who has a warehouse that they can receive on your behalf, or just Google it. There are receiving warehouses all over the place. So you have to think about that. And then a place where you're going to store these things. If you have room in your garage, you can rent storage spaces. Most people start with smaller storage spaces until you're ready to move into a warehouse. But that is what is entailed. And when you have larger inventory, you need a bigger warehouse. You need people to move the stuff around. You need people to maintain the space. And you will need an inventory system. If you carry inventory, because you're going to go crazy. Once you start staging more than 1, 2, 3 houses, you need a way to track your inventory and know where they are at all times and be able to plan and project what jobs you can take based on what you have. You can decide to have a niche, and this is a subject that I'll be covering in future episodes, to niche or not to niche. And if you decide to niche, how to determine what your niche should be. It will be based on the resources available to you, the skills that you have, your jam. So you have to be able to bring water to thirsty people, find people who are looking for what you offer and that come easily to you, so that you can make fast success. Or you can do all of the things. When I started, I would take anything and everything that came to me because I had no options. But once I honed in on my skills, I decided that vacant was the one for me. And I wanted to carry inventory because I wanted control. Now I am diversifying. I niched in and I started offering vacant, and then now I'm diversifying and doing all the things. So, regardless of your niche or your business model, I highly encourage starting with the low-hanging fruits of low capital. There is really no zero capital because you're going to have to invest in, registering your business. And registering your business is not a big deal. You register your business, You have a warehouse website, you do your portfolio and put your pictures there and all that. So investment of time at the beginning, a lot more than money, and you start to get returns, and then you can invest and do more. If you're not careful, you could end up with a warehouse storage full of nothing that matches or nothing that goes with anything. So buy neutral whites, gold, silver. Don't invest too much in colorful things. Buy things that are versatile, like a modular sectional that you can make so many configurations out of. I hope this was helpful to get started. Watch out for future episodes where I'll be sharing all about design principles, the art of staging, the business of staging, the intricacies of marketing, profitability, everything you can think of in home staging. I'll be touching on the subject. All right, my friends, I hope you have a great start. Start where you are, use what you have because you already have everything that you need to get started. You've been listening to the Business of Home Staging podcast. Remember to share, like, and subscribe. Thank you for joining me on this episode and keep doing all the things until next time.